What's up guys, Kyokai1994 here today to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball, from Ball to Z and everything in between. And today I am so happy to be doing this video. I've been holding off on it for a while, but when the events of what happened in the special happened, I can't not talk about this character now. So furthering the trend of Dragon Ball side stories on my channel, I want to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, that defies time and can really land a blow on somebody. And to help me dive in and talk about these ideas in today's video, I will be introducing back to the channel again a very special guest. You know him, you love him, the man of many speculations, my good friend Mark from Real to Real Productions. What's up, Mark? How you doing?
What's up, man? Always good to be here. Thanks for having me back. These are really fun videos, by the way, and I hope anyone who's watching it has had as much fun as I have listening to them and also being a part of them.
I really do like them, and I do need to do follow-ups on a lot of people, especially like things that I've already talked about. I need to sit down and like actually write through a whole story. I know there's some other people on YouTube that have done that before as well, and that seems to be something that people really enjoy, is you putting out your idea and then, you know, fulfilling your idea and expanding on it. I mean, that's what creators do for, you know, manga and anime and all that stuff. So I'm probably going to revisit a lot of these, but this one is literally one that I've been waiting and has had your name on it since the beginning. I sat down when I first started this series and wrote out like blah, blah, blah names, whatever. And I had like ideas of who I wanted to be with, but I know that sometimes, you know, scheduling errors and stuff like that, you can't always get who you want. But your name has always been in capital letters right next to Hit, and I think it's fair. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Mark yet, I'm going to leave his link in the description below so that you can get over to his channel and hit his sub button as well. He's a great guy, and he's definitely giving you daily content that's way better than a lot of other stuff that I see out there. So you guys really need to check him out if you haven't. But today, like I said, I'm not really going to beat around the bush. It's a character I know, and I know you, Mark, you love, and like I said, you're the only person that I had in mind to record this with, so I feel like we should mark out together over the great assassin that is Hito. And so I don't really have a billion ideas. I usually walk into a lot of these side stories with like a list of ideas. I just want to see one thing from Hit, and basically it's going to be a discussion between you and me of things that would happen in that one run of manga. But I really want to see the adventures of Hit, the assassin. We have literally 1,000 years, if not, maybe he's like 1,037 at this point. So we have like 1,000+ years to see of his life, what he's done, how he's learned his techniques, what he has done in his life, the struggles, the trials, the tribulations, you know, tribulations, I said tribulations, that's funny. You know, just all of the amazing things that he's done, and there's plenty of like times that you could have Universe 6 actually, you know, coming, or well, not Universe 6. There's plenty of times that you could have actions that happen in Dragon Ball Super run into, or Dragon Ball Z or things along that. He could come to Universe 7 and all that, but you could have plenty of these little points where he kind of, you know, dives his foot into the original series or dives his foot into Super and all that. I feel it would be really interesting just to see any backstory that is about Hit. I don't know. Well, I actually do know. I say I don't know, but I know a billion things that you want to see. But if you want to tell the audience, Mark, what you would like to see from Hit.
I mean, okay, so when it comes to Hit in general, just the very fact that this guy is stronger than almost anyone else that we've seen in Universe 6, at this point we're not necessarily sure. Obviously, he is Champa's ace in the hole in both of the tournaments, so it's not like anyone really can step up to him. But like I said, we're not necessarily sure. So it really limits his appeal for any dramatic role or anything not necessarily fight related in terms of story, considering the fact that he's probably really good at his job. He doesn't necessarily beat around the bush, especially when we saw with the mini arc with Hit. He doesn't necessarily beat around the bush at all. If he's on the job, if there's not something holding him back like these last two tournaments, then he'll just get the job done, go back home, and just, you know, be by himself, because he seems more like a loner. So it really kind of limits what you can do with him. Personally, there's only really two things. You need to either show his origin, or you need to make him the Mad Max character of Universe 6 and of the Dragon Ball universe. And by that I really mean if you've seen Mad Max Fury Road, The Road Warrior, Mad Max, or Thunderdome, you know
Thunderdome.
You know one of the things is Mad Max's character outside of the very first film is not necessarily the main person in any of the stories. Yes, he's the titular character of the series, but he more so stumbles onto other people's problems and then helps them solve them, being kind of the middleman in between everything else that's going on. And personally, I think Hit would be really okay in that situation, considering the fact that we kind of limit ourselves if we look primarily to his youth and his origin story and focus on that, because there's only like one story. There's only probably one time where he was so vulnerable where he didn't have the Tokotobashi or anything else like that. So it has to be really compelling. This is a different situation though. This is something that could be multiple different issues, multiple different episodes, just kind of a different stories, completely different feel and tone, texture, and I'll go with that. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do in that situation. I mean, you can have Hit being hired by someone to help break people out of jail. I think that would be kind of cool, considering the fact that maybe he'd be like, you have to break people out of jail, but we don't need you to cause too much of a commotion. So it's more of a tactical sneaking around than actually going around and just literally killing everyone down the hall, as we've seen from time to time in other forms of media and other forms of jailbreaking situations. You can have Hit steal things. It would be kind of cool to have them hire Hit to do some kind of a bank robbery or something, or a casino robbery, like a Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball General Ocean's 13, where Hit's one of the members that is there for like the muscle or something, and he has to fight someone who is really strong or something like that. You know, there's a lot of different avenues and a lot of different genres that you can literally place Hit in, where he's not necessarily the central character. And honestly, if we're talking about 1,000 years and 1,000 years worth of possibilities and storytelling, that would be the main thing for me. I think that would be really exciting for all of us Dragon Ball fans.
So you bring up a very interesting thing. You say he's always working, and that's what you want to see, is him working. And it's funny because he mentioned that in the special that I mentioned at the beginning of of my intro. Jiren asks him straight up, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Working." So, I mean, this dude is always working, and I personally do differ a little bit in the fact that I do want to see his origin story. I don't know why I get it from his character, but when we had the little Hit, little episodes, I think it was 2, but the little Hit interaction, I really felt like he had this sorrow on him. And, like, I don't know if maybe it was like a fallen brother or like a fallen family or whatever, but I do feel like he has this drive. I mean, he's 1,000 years old. I assume that nobody he knows is that old. Nobody keeps up with him. So, I mean, we have this 1,000 years of lost friends and lost this. And, I mean, at the beginning, the first couple hundred years, he could have been a lot different than the way he is now. I mean, he's very stoic and like in his shell. He's comfortable with himself. He likes himself. I believe he's a loner at this point, just like you were saying. I would agree with that he would be a loner. But just having him show his origin story of, you said basically like the one time he was vulnerable, and this could be that time he was vulnerable. He could have been happy beforehand as a regular hitman, just sniping people from buildings or whatever he was doing. But this, I mean, it's John Wick style. This is the thing that sliced the cake. He had to start his revenge, and then when he started, he realized he was back in the game. You know, man, why can I not think of the movie it's from? But the minute you think I'm out, they just drag you back in. I don't know why I can't think of what it's from, but that's basically how I feel Hit may have that, and that starts the 1,000 years of just stories after stories after stories. I think robberies would be really interesting, especially with Toki Tabashi. He can get in, get out without being seen or shown on anything, and they probably won't even realize until they go check the safe and realize, why is there no gold or money or deposit box open, or like deposit box like have things, they're all open, like this is crazy, why is it like this? And then they realize somebody jacked everything.
When you talk about him and his origin, I just have this scene. I don't know if it would translate very well to like a manga panel, but maybe like
Are
an
you trying to
OVA.
paint a picture?
I'm trying to paint a picture. Okay, I just have this scene. It's a younger hit, more so along the lines of 23rd tournament Goku fighting Piccolo or something. It's just kind of a softer, younger looking hit, not as defined as he is when we see him in Dragon Ball Super. And he's just this street rat. I want to kind of hark back to, as you could probably tell, Aladdin. He kind of has this like Aladdin feel where he's living on his own in a real tattooing like a desert planet or something else like that. And he's just faster than everyone else, so he steals to survive, but he basically lives on his own, just kind of a hermit. And people kind of know him, but they're not really wary of him. They don't necessarily look up to him. They don't necessarily do anything. And then we have maybe an idea of who is there on the planet. Like there's this old guy on the planet, and he's this guy that everyone respects, is really super strong, yada yada yada. He takes Hit in under his wing, and then of course it's kind of like a reverse Goku with Krillin and Master Roshi, where there's another guy who's also the student of this guy and was before he took in Hit, and they kind of become brothers. And this guy, but Hit is just improving. Obviously, he has this weird sensibility of him, like this weird biology. No one's ever seen this alien before or anything else like that. So no matter what, this guy who was the student beforehand just can't get get ahead of Hit. He can't. And it starts this like resentment, and obviously the resentment builds into hatred and the dark side and whatever. And he ends up killing the master, and then he goes away and he goes away, he gangs up, starts his own like biker gang or something, whatever. Comes back to raid the town, the village that they grew up in or something else like that. And then Hit stands up to him, of course. Hit's still a little bit devastated with everything going on, and maybe the student has gotten a little bit stronger since he kind of left and experienced and maybe trained with other people, and he's a little bit above Hit at this point. And I just imagine them fighting in this really heartbreaking, emotional scene. Hit's never had a family, Hit's never had a brother, but he's lost his father. He has to fight his figurative brother. And I just have this idea, and I don't know why it pushes me so much that I want to see this on screen, is this guy punching Hit in the face, very much so like Goku did in the Tournament of Power, or the last tournament, where using Kaioken times 10 with Super Saiyan Blue and just kind of sneaking up on the Tokudobashi and literally punching him square in the jaw. It's like that, but it's a little different. That when he punches him, basically the screen cracks. You see the Tokudobashi finally happen, and it just stays there for what it seems like an eternity. And Hit is the only one who can move in that situation. Like, he opens his eyes, he looks, everyone around him is frozen and everything. And basically that fight is what awakens the Tokudobashi, at least for that 0.01 second interval, and he's able to use it to get the upper hand. Of course, he has no mastery of it. He's still stumbling, and at the same time, he has to beat this brother figure of his, and obviously wins, and that's what kind of sets him off. And considering the fact that no one else has this technique, and he just kind of has it because of his improving ability, he becomes an assassin, and that's what kind of starts him on the life of this, where no one really kind of steps to him through 1,000 years of being an assassin or being really a legendary person in this entire universe. And I just see with the like OVA or manga or series or something, the very end panels, or like they used to do with the scenes that they would show, in the old Dragon Ball Super television specials, where in the history of Trunks you get to see like Gohan and Goten being young again or something, just kind of scenes of stuff that we didn't see throughout the movie or throughout a time in Dragon Ball Z that we never got to see, something like that. But we get to see kind of Hit's best kills, so you get an idea of like what he's been doing over 1,000 years, but you don't necessarily bog yourself down with the story.
You can also go all the way up into Super, like I was talking about, and having the characters come through and have him, well, not have him, and have the situations show why he wants the cube from the Universal 6, the Universal 6 tournament. Like, why did he want that cube so bad originally? And his interaction with Vados, and like, you could also bring Ciampa and Vados in. Well, mainly Vados, because Ciampa doesn't really watch Crystal Balls, it seems. But Vados would actually figure out, like, oh, this is one of the strongest people in our universe. I need to watch him. He's doing this. He's doing that. And that's kind of where I want to end it off, unless you have any other ideas on the series.
I'm out of ideas.
You're out of ideas? Oh, that's fine. And if we think of any more, we will definitely make a part 2 to this. There's a billion things that you can actually think of, but we need more time to, like I said, sit down and draw them up, to paint the picture, to write the words down on the piece of paper and tell you guys. But again, I want you guys to go down to the link in the description below, and I want you to check out Mark's channel. He does amazing content, and I mean, he's just a great guy. He has several channels, 2 to be exact, where he talks about actual like movie box office news and situations and rewriting of movies that he does on that channel, and then he does all of his Dragon Ball on this channel. They're both 2 amazing channels. You're going to find something that you like if you go to either one of them. And I want you guys to like the video if you enjoyed it. I want you guys to leave a billion thumbs up if you can. I want you guys to leave your comments in the comment section below, obviously, not anywhere else to leave comments. But I want you guys to tell me ideas you want to see with Hit, ideas you want to see with these Dragon Ball side stories, ideas you want to see just taking place in the Dragon Ball world. I want you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really feel like you'll find something on my channel that you like. I do a variety of different kinds of videos. I do Dokkan videos, I do discussion videos, I do the side stories, I analyze the series, and just do a lot of different things just involving Dragon Ball and showing you guys the series that I love and have put a lot of passion into. And the most important thing is I want you guys to enjoy your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.